I don't understand how somebody could literally come through, get their bag on content creation, literally someone that's absolutely made it, only for them to come through, hit a 180, and potentially try to ruin their own career by associating with someone that's not that great of a person. Obviously, we're talking about Hassan here, because what else are we talking about, right? If you've seen Trash Taste on Twitter for 5 seconds, you know people ain't necessarily vibing with this. You already see this in the comment section of that episode, which you would see it as well if they didn't start removing comments, which is wild as hell to do, and people will catch that, and they will call you out, and they already are. It's not a good move. It's not a good move. I wouldn't want my podcast to be known for some terrorist supporting activity or things of the sort like that. For me personally, like if I ever did a podcast, that's something I'm not going to necessarily sit here and do. I'm also not going to sit here and bring up a controversial figure, at least in terms of this level of controversy when it comes down to it, and, you know, just sit here and just be like, so did you watch the latest season of I Slept With Your Mother and then she was also my sister but isekai in a different world? Like, I don't really want to kind of bring someone on to that level in terms of really that podcast, and in this very space that really is meant for people that are, honestly, I was gonna say outcasts, honestly, but we still getting outcast in our own damn community, so I guess it don't matter anymore. I swear, every time I feel like they bring this person up, it's like a controversy that's gonna follow them. It doesn't make any type of sense of why they would want that, or why they would take a chance to do that again, but they just do it, and it's super weird. It's super, super weird, and that's something that just not necessarily on the calendar that you need to be dealing with. And then when people go out their way to say some crazy things, and then they come through and make a video or a tweet just being like, why is people being so negative? Why are people being so hurtful? Why are people telling me to disassociate with these guys because they hanged out or put on a podcast with, you know, Hassan and all this stuff? There is multiple reasons as to why people will say negative things, and there's clearly obvious reasons as to why people don't like this decision and why they will never really ever want this to be a common thing to kind of go about, especially in terms of a podcast like this. And even if you don't agree with his views at all, guess what? The internet will basically put you in that position where you agree by association. So people are going to start calling you wild and ass terms and thinking that, yo, you might support the same things he very much supports. And that's just going to be, you know, raps for you. Well, I would say raps for you in any instance, but I think they're at a point where they're too big to fail, which is a bit crazy to say, but at the same time, repercussions like that don't really happen a lot on the internet, at least permanently when it comes down to it. But still, nonetheless, people ain't gonna necessarily like this. But I'm not just mad at this situation, I'm mad at just really all situations where you have a popular content creator hang out with someone that's obviously an asshole, and then just be like, yeah, this is perfect, this is fine. Literally a burning house with that one damn dog in that meme. Yeah, burning house, drinking coffee, this is fine. What are you talking about? Get your bum ass out before you basically get burned to death. Are you stupid? It's like when Drake was trying to hit that drone with that sandal. Look at this pose. Why are you posted up like this, mi amor? You need help immediately. Pronto. Vámonos. And also, to kind of add a whole another aspect to this whole anime YouTuber sort of thing, especially when it comes to the top level, there is a lot of things they could be also discussing, and yet they don't, and then they make decisions like this where, you know, it's not something that you should do. At least I wouldn't have done this type of thing, right? And there's plenty of other things in the space that you could bring up if you're gonna talk about some anime for once in a while, you know, like the weird ass credit card situation that's been going on in Japan, like literally all the other wild and stuff as well. And that's one thing I'm starting to really hate about the anime space now, is that it's just getting way more political than it ever needed to be, and I don't understand why this is the case. Why does it have to be here? Like, I'm out here trying to talk about some big old anime booba and enjoy my time with the nearest anime that's coming out, honestly, and yet we got like left takes, right takes, up takes, down takes. I'm like, what the hell is happening here? This is not the community I thought, we was gonna see. This is not the community I was thinking, oh, we're gonna see some cooking ass, firing ass shows, right? We're gonna just chill and have a nice time discussing things. Now it's just disrespect, politics, and literally, like, if you don't agree with the show that I like and the character that I like, then, well, F you. Here's a doxing bill to your house. Like, I don't understand. You know what the funny part is, too? I just read a tweet that just makes absolute sense. There was a whole video of Sea-Dog basically talking about how the anime community isn't the same anymore and how divided and how everything kind of sucks now. And yet, you do something to basically divide more people. I don't understand that. What is the logic behind that? What is the thought process? Like, I'm trying to sit here and just have a good ass time with the people that I, like when it comes down to it, and just enjoy the content that we do. That's what my mind would be if I was in that top position, especially when it comes to anime and such. That's my idea and thinking. But why would you say that and then directly right after that be involved with someone like that to come through the podcast and just cause a controversy again and divide more people again? It's a very much a weird move. Like, I'm gonna keep it a stack. I get it. The show is called Trash Taste, so of course you're gonna expect things that you don't really agree with, and that's understandable. But at the very same time, there's a difference between having a trash taste and just doing something that is just flat out gonna get you harmed in the long run, essentially, right? That's like if someone basically come through and call a certain thing based that actually is based, but then someone calls something that's obviously like a whole ass crime and something very negative based, when it's not that. It's absolutely something bad that should not have happened, and it's weird as hell that you just called it based. So what the hell are you doing here? And you know what the sad part about all this is, just to kind of cap off everything, I think the biggest and easily the most saddest part of all this is that they literally will have, someone that's very much on a pro-terrorist type of side and have takes that obviously does not matter in the long run when it comes down to whatever mostly they talk about. Essentially, they go about that, but then at the very same time, if they were to actually get serious and yap about something that actually does pretty much matter and they have the platform to do, they just don't. And I don't mean like, oh, just regular, stuff that happens that goes around. No, I mean like within the space of anime, within the space of the anime industry, and no one yaps about that. And it's weird. That's why I made a whole video calling that shit out, because it's weird, right? Like, it just is. That's why I'm like, yo, why don't we just talk about the whole, credit card thing that's been going on with Japan and they getting screwed over, or essentially about how these different companies are getting taken down because these credit card companies ain't effing with the whole inappropriate content or just things in general, and try to push censorship on these people, and just many other things that we can go on and yapped about, and we have yapped about before. And it's like, this is where you put all your stakes into, not all the actual things that's affecting the very thing that gave you your whole ass, like, big popular uprising, and not all that stuff that's going on with Japan, but just this nonsense. I find a lot of this just straight up baffling. I kind of honestly am speechless when it comes to some times with these guys and how they kind of go about this. And literally, a situation like this, it just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. It doesn't make sense to come through and basically be labeled an associate with someone that has the takes that Hassan does. It doesn't make sense for, really any and all bigger content creators to just hang out with people that are equally terrible. And then it doesn't make sense for really this to just be the way it is. Again, this, you were talking about, like, obviously, again, people being mad negative on the internet, but then you give them something to be negative about, and you don't see that. Once again, I don't understand it. This is, again, partially the reason why I'm like, man, I would like to be a bigger content creator. I would, just so we can, actually have something more positive to talk about. And yes, we'll probably have problems on our own, but still, I could hopefully hope we can make it a better place. a little bit, at least 1% better. That'd be great. But it just, ugh, I don't even know what to say, honestly. I'm just confused. I'm really more confused than anything. But that's really what I wanted to say for this one. So hopefully you did enjoy. If you did, be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit the bell notification on the way out. Also follow the socials and like to the channel. Go find Cash App, it's available as well. And if you'd like to just to get me something off a throne, yes, please do comment in below. And until then, it's your boy Jay, signing off. Have a blessed day.